2 days later, I met a witness, Scott, whom I have not spoken with prior, at the same trailhead. This is the first time that he's been back here since his sighting, nearly 30 years ago.
Okay, so tell me about your sighting, start to finish. What I know what you're doing, but tell everybody else like what you're doing out here and what happened.
We were coming up here. Our whole thing was to get a tree stand built up here. Well, coming up here, the spot we're coming to up by the gas line here, I rested with the wood on the ground to take a breather before the last hump up into the woods. And where I had stopped with the wood there and rested upon it on the way out of the woods after building the tree stand is where I saw a big squatch, roughly close to 7-8 feet tall, winding the air with its nose in the air, taking big heaving breaths of wind, trying, I guess, to wind us and decide exactly what we were or where we were. The young one, the juvenile, which was roughly about 5.5 foot tall, he was down on all fours, sniffing the ground like a beagle, where I had sat on the wood and took a break, while the other one stood looking up the ridge up here and just taking big heaves of wind, trying to smell as I had its nose in the air, and it was just looking around, just looking enormous. And at that point, we decided what they were. There was no mistaking for anything. My friend and I decided to do a big downwind circle to get far around and get out of here in time.
Because that scared you guys.
It was getting dark. Yeah, all I had was a framing hammer in my hand, and being an outdoorsman for almost 50 years, I knew what I was saying, and I didn't have a chance against it, so the best thing would be to just evade it altogether. And so it was a little windy that day, so the wind was able to hide our exit out of here. We did circle downwind from them, and at that point, I don't know whatever happened after that point, but this is the first time coming back here in 30 years, just trying to beat the demons and put this to rest, so
that's awesome.
I'm finally at peace with the whole thing.
So are you comfortable with going back and recreating what you saw?
I have a lot of anxiety over it, and like right now, my heartbeat and my blood pressure's up quite a bit. But
I'm an EMT, so it's cool.
I have no problem giving a little recreation. They were investigating what I figured later. Why would they come around looking for us? We were building a tree stand. We were doing tree knocks.
Right.
So that's what obviously maybe I guess piqued their interest and pulled them in. They were either looking for another Squatch or who knows whatever. But
yeah.
Unfortunately, they found us. Gentlemen, you are now standing in a place where an actual Bigfoot once stood.
That's where he was.
That marks the spot. The wood that I had put down, I sat down over here and rested upon it.
Hold on, let's make this a little clearer to our fans. So this is it. This is
the spot that the adult was standing on, that X marked spot right there. That one, I had the wood down right here. I sat down and rested before taking the last walk up into the woods here. Like we came out of the woods after building the tree stand, the adult was standing right here, like with its arms at its side, looking on an angle up. The wind was coming from like more out of the north here. He had his nose in the air, arms at its sides, taking big heats with his nose, sniffing the wind, looking around. He would put his nose back in the air, looking around, taking big, deep breaths, trying to wind us. While the younger juvenile, where I had sat on the wood here, he was on all fours, almost like a spider monkey, sniffing the ground where the wood was, where I had a drink of water and spit part of it out over here. He was sniffing that whole area.
Wow.
And it was quite unnerving coming out and seeing him after coming out of the woods here, not expecting to see what we saw, and being that they were standing here, no brush in the way, there was no mistaking it for anything other than what it clearly was.